about relationships today?
Honestly,
My
what
goodness.
Hold on, you had a Kanye West bit in there. Are you gonna hit that?
I
right now?
just can't talk about him.
Oh my God. Well,
Jesus
I was like,
Christ.
you know what? Like, I saw the
about
first part of
what,
I saw the
know?
first part of his documentary, and I was all
He has
like,
a documentary?
yeah, there's a
About
documentary of him
what?
out on like it's like an origin story documentary, and
Baby, we have all read your Wikipedia. We
like
don't need
I wanted to go on a rant about him because I have like a strong dislike, but we could wait for another time for that one because that shit is.
Well, on today's news for Kanye West, he's hiring kids from Skid Row for his next model show.
He's
his
hiring
next
kids
what?
and that just goes to show what
Sure.
like that it adds to the shit that I'm talking about of like
He's not terrible.
He is awful.
he's fucking awful,
he's
bro.
awful. There's
He's
no way
so
around
bad.
it. There's literally nowhere around it.
He's so bad. Skid
bad
Row.
people can do good things. They're still bad people.
Yeah, and I specifically wanted to talk about him in a bigger
Hold on,
rant.
what's so terrible about him? He has different political views, but I mean, he's not.
No. It's not.
Number
It's
one,
not the
that is
fact. It's
not
not the
it.
fact. It's not the fact that like. Yeah, I don't want to like get into the trope of like,
Yeah.
oh, black people need to think a certain way. Like, but no, like black people aren't a monolith by any means. So like they can have their own opinions and
But he has
and
been
be
problematic since like before he would like speak on like his political.
The problem
views.
with him and I'll try not to get like be too specific, but the problem with him is that he's very disingenuous about what he wants, and he only wants one thing. And if you look at the trajectory of his entire career, the only thing he's ever been obsessed with, and like I mean like freakishly obsessed with, is just being popular. That is the only thing that every single decision that he has ever made is tied to the fact that people didn't like him, and he's trying to overcompensate the fact that people need to like him. And that goes back to like double polos. That goes all the way down to that goes all the way down to like backpack rap and like him saying that he brought back the boom bap. That goes back to even being Kanye Kardashian and being like, let me attach myself.
You just call him Kanye Kardashian?
Oh, 100%.
I have never heard anyone say that, and honestly, it was really jarring.
Yeah,
I
like
don't think I want to hear it again.
Even into
I like that it
I
is
like
a
it.
KK.
Yeah, like
that is amazing.
even as far as Kanye Kardashian, like he attaches himself to what is going to get him the most attention at all times. The MAGA thing, the most attention at all times, and he will not hesitate between like he's just like he has no spine. He will not hesitate like from going from one side and being MAGA crazy and then saying like, oh shit, black people don't like me anymore. Gospel music, like. And there's no like he has no conviction and he doesn't. It'd be one thing. I'd have a lot more respect for him if he was like, no, this is what I think and y'all don't have to like me, end of story. And it'd be like, all right, at least he's like, this is what I'm about. But he will constantly just keep going back and forth between what, and he doesn't follow through with anything. Oh, I want to be in fashion because I want to save Chicago, and I want to like give inner city, kids like whatever. And all he's done in the fashion industry is create a multi-billion-dollar business as far as the Yeezy brand, in trying to make everybody just dress the way that he dresses. If he really wanted to help communities, if he really wanted to put high fashion into the arms of regular people, there are black businessmen and women out there. There are black men like graduating from top colleges all across the country. There are specifically black colleges all over the country that they're graduating people every single year, and he can target that demographic. He can target lawyers. He can target and create fashion and clothes and stuff for them just as much as inner city Chicago kids, or just as much as inner city, and make things affordable, not just overpriced toned down sweatshirts just so that everybody can look homeless. Like, no, bro, if you want everybody to just look the way you look because you want to be the epitome of cool, then say that. Say that that's what you want. Say that you just want to be the coolest person alive. Just say it. Because the moment you say it is the moment it's like, okay, respect. Like, because everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
But if you blanket that with like, oh no, like no, I'm trying to be the next Walt Disney, or no, I'm trying to be the next Steve Jobs, or no, I have ideas that can save the world, or no, like I'm trying to like change I'm trying to give uniforms to like all the inner city basketball public basketball teams and all this, like all these signaling towards people that come from where he comes from, only so that people can be like, oh yeah, he's doing something really good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy Yeezys now, and that shit is still $350. Like, and those fucking shoes still cost. First of all, they're hideous, and then they still fucking cost so.
Hard,
well, the Red Octobers are the only ones that I'm like, yo,
don't you have a pair of Yeezys?
Huh?
Don't you have a pair of Yeezys?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any Yeezys. I don't have any Yeezy
you will
anything.
not catch him sleeping.
No, don't catch me. Nah, you would not. You would never. I am a sneakerhead, but a very specific type of sneakerhead, and I would not be caught dead wearing Yeezys because of the fact that I really value people that stand by their convictions in terms of like being artists. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then those same people will clown other people that have done significant things for people that do come from that walk of life, only because they're not popular. Case in point, when Shaq was at Payless and Shaq's shoes were completely affordable to every inner city kid in the entire country, you couldn't wear Shaqs because you weren't cool. Everybody wanted Jordans, and Jordan's a big piece of shit when it comes to like his brand also. But again, it's not what's cool. So it's like Kanye could have led by example and been like, no, what Shaq did was the biggest G move in the fucking game. And instead he's all like, no, I'm gonna give you some I'm gonna give you some Tyrannosaurus Crocs and like trying to and you're gonna wear these with your sweat, with your $150 sweats and your $250 Gap sweatshirt, and this is fashion now. All because he didn't get accepted into Louis Vuitton the first time. Like, come on, bro. Like, get the fuck over it.
His whole style just looks like the Marshmallow Man. Everything that he has is just like blown up times 3.
That's because fashion was never his thing. Like, he didn't, like, he has this, like, persona of, like, number one, he calls himself a genius. But in fashion, like, he was always, like, so interested in it, and he wants to, like, revolutionize it. But, like, he got into fashion because of his ex-girlfriend. Like, she was literally a fashion designer, and she was the one that, like, he always credits himself as like reinventing like Kardashians and like how their whole style like changed. And it's true, like their whole style did change after like he came into the family, but that's because his whole style was like reinvented by his ex-girlfriend. Like, that's not to his credit, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's like he does things without like any regard for like anyone else but himself. And I think that's where people are like, who is looking after this man?
Two more points. Beef with Drake, all attention seeking. He's not the most popular artist in the world anymore. So he's like, I gotta go against the actual most popular artist in the world. Like, no, bro. Like, and to give him a little bit of credit, he is a good music producer. He has made some good music. I'm not part of I'm not part of the group that says like people that I don't like or people that are bad people can't make good things or can't do good stuff. Oh no, 100% they can. You know, when Kanye West said George Bush doesn't care about black people, I felt that shit. I'm like, yo, that was a G'd up move. So I'm not saying that he's completely like at the very bottom of the totem pole and like I don't fuck with him. I'm just saying that collectively the totality of who he is and all the actions that he's done summed up together make him a piece of shit person. And secondly, as an artist, I will 100% go against the grain whenever people label themselves geniuses, and the only way to seemingly be a genius is to be a tortured, a tortured person dealing with like mental health issues. Like, that's not cute. And as an artist, that's not how the most prolific and best artists that have ever existed. That's not the trope that they've lived by. And it's just, and whenever people do get painted as like, oh, well, maybe the only way to get this art is to be on drugs, or in order for something to be this good, you've got to be, you know, tortured, or you got to be like a piece of shit, or you've got to be, you know, dealing with mental health issues or bipolar. Like, I just go 100% against that because that's not true. Some of the biggest artists that have been labeled as that have made their best work when they're in therapy, when they've been able to deal with themselves a lot better and do not have a chaotic mind. And And it's just not cute. It's not cute to idolize people that have been dealing with something or romanticize, better yet, romanticize a very specific dark mental health experience only because it creates great, phenomenal art. Like that's just not cute. And as an artist, I would never stand on that side of the aisle of it because one, you can't be self-proclaimed either. That shit is fucking. That shit is corny as fuck.
He calls himself
like.
Jesus.
Yes, like that shit is corny, dog. Like that shit is corny as fuck. But even if people were labeling you that and you didn't call yourself that and you were dealing with some serious mental health issues, which we've all seen publicly that he has, the only thing that I would say at that point is like, get this man some help. Like, go and stop buying his shit. Like, stop enabling the fact that like the more you buy his shit, the more he thinks he's right. Yeah. And he's not right. He hasn't been right for a very long time. This man needs help, not another $1 billion endorsement by for being the fucking on the board of some other fashion brand. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's just corny all the way through and through. And everybody that romanticizes it and wears his clothes and like and touts it out and about like that, especially as celebrities, I'm like, man, y'all got to do better because this is supposed to be somebody that y'all fuck with, and if y'all really actually fuck with him and care about him, then y'all be trying to do everything that you can to like get him help that he really deserves, that he really needs, instead of him gallivanting trying to get another, trying to get a new girlfriend right now just because he wants to piss off Pete Davidson and Kim K. Like, bro, like grow up, bro. You're 45 years old. Like let's fucking mature a little bit.
There's that clip from Pete Davidson on SNL, which is like, this is whenever Kanye went on, like, I think it's when he did like oh fuck, he's honestly had so many like public mental breakdowns that I can't remember which one it was. I think it's when he was like, it's when he said that like slavery is like a mental state, and that
he said that slavery was a choice.
Yeah, that slavery was a choice. Pete Davidson is like, he's in the weekly news and he's like, he's tweeting, Kanye's like tweeting that like, yeah, I'm off my meds, like this is the real me. Pete Davidson is like, take them. I do it. It's great. I love it. There's no
take
shame
your fucking
in the
meds. Yeah.
I was like, and now he's dating Kim Kardashian. What a time.
I mean, look,
we're not.
We're not.
We can't get into that.
We can't get into Pete Davidson's ascension in the celebrity sphere. But I agree with him. Take your meds,
Pete
bro.
Davidson stan.
Take your fucking meds because that shit ain't cute. Like it's just not all this ahistoric. Like I don't get to. You know what I mean? Like I don't get to actually do the research. Just listen to me and just like that's not cute, bro. So that's why whenever I saw the documentary, I did see like the first 30 minutes, like 4 parts or whatever, and only the first part is out. And I saw like 30 minutes of it, and I was all like, man, like it's just tragic to me because he could have been somebody that you could really use as an example as to like how to really ascend in the world coming from Southside Chicago.
But the thing is that like, people already view him that way, though. Like, right. Even if we disagree, like people already view him that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the tragic part about it. Yeah, is that he actually isn't. True. He doesn't live up to that to that moniker. And
in your opinion, who does?
But yeah,
Jigga,
like
probably
what?
Jay.
Who?
Jay-Z.
I thought you were saying J-Lo, and I was like,
I thought you said J-Lo too.
No, Jigga. That's
but like what I'm saying is like, I agree. Like obviously, a lot of his success is like a lot of people enabling like, his like poor treatment of like mental illness and whatnot. Like people are just taking advantage of him. But like to people who came from where he came from, like they probably see him and they're like, he did make it, like he is that.
No, 100%. Whenever I was
at a very high fucking cost.
Whenever I was a Kanye West fan, like
I'm sounding like a Kanye West like
apologizing, like apologist.
No,
please,
like let it be known.
All Falls Down. I think that song is incredible. And when I was a kid in high school listening to All Falls Down, I'm like, man, this man gets me. Like this man gets the idea
like, I could literally not fucking name a Kanye West song besides like what's the fuck? I don't even know what the name is. I just know
Power, maybe
Nicki Minaj's
Monster.
Verse. That's yes,
Monster.
You.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I can name a couple, but
so like All Falls Down to me is like one of the best songs because it talks about it's both like really fucking cool and really great, but also he's talking about some real shit that and like through a real unique perspective. And around the time like Fiasco's Hurt Me Soul was out and Kick Push was out and like you know all this. So it was a lot of like this conscious stuff happening, and I'm like, man, this man's amazing. And My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which is the album he made about Amber, or inspired by Amber, I think is a masterpiece. Like I give him credit where it's due. Like I think Twisted Fantasy is a masterpiece. But just because you made something phenomenal doesn't
like debating that
right.
he makes good music. Everybody is debating that
right.
like
and that's the point that I'm making.
You don't get to like do like crazy shit and like be a shitty person and then be like, oh, it's just because I'm mentally ill. That's not how it works. There's a lot of mentally ill people that are not shitty people. Those are not like, number one, those are not intertwined, and like they're not mutually like, you know.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be conflated for each other.
It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like obviously his mental illness has played like a really huge part on the way that he like has navigated the world, but that does not mean you get to like say the shit that he has said or like done the shit that he has done. Like that is not. This goes
and this kind of goes back to the point you made last episode about idolizing politicians. I feel the same way about celebrities.
Well, yeah.
Like you stop idolizing celebrities. Take in what they have to offer in terms of art, in terms of product, and if you like it, you like it. But stop acting like they're infallible, and stop being apologists for behavior that shouldn't be apologized for. You know, like that you shouldn't apologize for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A person can have that kind of duality. A person can make a beautiful piece of art and also do some shit that's like, yo, that's not cool, bro. Like, that's a no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those two things can live independently from each other and better and furthermore.
And they should.
And furthermore,
it's like way more damaging that they don't. Like
I'll end this point with the fact that I don't think he's also irredeemable. Like if he managed to figure out a way, and I feel like this about a lot of people that I don't agree with. Like if you manage to find a way and create an example of how you can go off the deep end on this side and still recoup and say like, you know what, like I'm willing to be an adult and acknowledge all of these things that I've done, and this is where I stand now. This is how I'm trying to, and then you show improve in that sense. I'll be totally fine with like, look, I really appreciate and respect your trajectory in life, and it was tragic, and you know, I hope that. You know, a part of me wishes that it never went that way because I was a huge fan at one point. But, you know, respect where you ended up because shit is crazy out here. And for me to even assume that my life would have like an upward trajectory like that and is insane. So I can respect that. But in the moment, if you haven't done it, I'm going to call you out for what it is. Like, and that's why when I saw the documentary, I saw on Twitter, everybody was romanticizing, oh, y'all better give this man the credit that he deserves and this and that. It's like, first of all, y'all give him too much credit. And I'm like, I don't know where y'all think that he's getting less credit because he keeps getting more credit. And I think it should be the opposite. I think that watching the documentary, instead of saying like, oh my God, this man really is a genius, you should say, look how far he fell. Look how far away from who we thought he was going to be. He actually is. You know what I mean? And people don't see it that way. And I'm just like, it's so irritating.
I just like I literally have no idea what goes on in that little fandom. Like I don't know anything about.
It's a pretty big
Kanye
fandom.
West became like a person in like my mental sphere once he married into the Kardashians, and I am not sorry for saying that. I'm not sorry for saying that. Remember when I got one of his vinyls as a gift? Yes. I spent like 50 minutes ranting about how much I don't give a fuck about him. This man gifts me his vinyl. I was like, what the fuck? He was like, I thought you liked it. I was like. When did you what like, conversation did we have? In that conversation when I was talking about how much I don't like him.
Yeah.
I love women penetration.
Well, that's a wrap thing because we can end there.
Into the Kanye West topic.
My bad. Sorry. I got on a roll.